All Stars is so back. Hi, hello everybody, welcome into my channel. My name is Jer and I am freaking hyped about All Stars 10 so far. This is the biggest season that we have had of every single one of the All Stars franchises, and it is absolutely living up to the bigness of this event. I mean, 10 seasons of All Stars is kind of insane. The fact that we've already got this many. When we have, what, 17 mainline seasons? That's a lot of All Stars to pack in already. I feel like Project Runway got to like season 17 and only had like 4 All Stars by the time they got there. So this is like a big deal. Episode 1 is called Winner Winner Chicken Dinner, and I know that Trixie is feeling so vindicated about that Snatch game right now. And then episode 2 is called Murder on the Dance Floor. We are going to be talking about episode 1 and episode 1 only, and then in a separate video I'll be talking about episode 2. So if you want to hear my thoughts about both of them, make sure to watch both of those. I just want to keep my thoughts concise and consistent on each one and not intermix too many opinions. We're going to be talking about the episode and recapping it. I'm going to be giving my thoughts, especially how it's panning out so far, some early storylines that are developing, and then I also want to talk about the runways because I love doing that. So let's get into it. I really am so excited for how big this season is going to be, and I'm also really happy that we are doing it in rounds of 3, so giving us group 1 and then theoretically group 2 and then group 3 and then merge them all together in like 9 weeks. That's very exciting. 8? Depends on if for each group they do 2 episodes, which I kind of hope they do. This double premiere spoiled us, I think, a little bit because I get the impression that we're probably gonna get everything just one by one sequentially. I don't think that they're gonna give us episode 4 and 5 together. And that's a bummer because I'm really gonna want that for each group since we already got it with this one. And I feel like that's gonna spoil us just a little bit down the road. This feels like the Olympics of drag. It feels like what All Stars is supposed to be. I love that there's half non-a-limb and then half a limb. This feels like the perfect like soup, salad, breadstick extravaganza that I think a lot of us have been wanting from the All Stars seasons. And it makes me yearn for what a lot of these older seasons could have been if we combined maybe like All Stars 1 and 2 together and did a similar format where like half of it was non-a-limb and then the second half was. It could have been so incredible if this was the format every time. I really hope that they stick to this. This is good. These girls come in and they spend so much money to get their packages ready for All Stars, only to maybe get eliminated early, and then they never get to show their stuff. They got to do it in All Stars 8 because they made them walk the runway and they did the, what was that called? Fame Games? But I mean, that was the littlest consolation prize for how much work these girls actually put in. Let's dive into the episode proper though. I'm not feeling RuPaul's bus driver wig, and I made a little short talking about how they need to get Delta back in that bitch because these little unstyled Arta wigs are not it. She is never beating the bald man sitting in front of a wig allegation. Aja is the very first queen into the stage this season as a very Roserade. I lived. I love that Aja did so much Pokemon this episode because we got a Roserade and then we got a Jinx, and it's just kind of everything that I wanted. Corey King really opened some doors, I think, for allowing more cosplay to be acceptable on the runway, and I think Aja is now carrying that through line, so I'm excited to see what happens next. I am not really a fan of these like Versus the World meets Canada season 4 or 5 where they walk the runway, model, and then leave. If that's not being swung into the mini, like we're judging your look and we're judging your presentation and that's gonna help you get a point, I don't really think there's any reason why they should be doing that format. Kind of seemed like wasted potential to not allow each other to get the experience of seeing who's walking in the workroom. I also kind of missed the reading challenge. I was hoping that we would get that, but maybe they're waiting for the merge to do so. Maybe they're gonna pull in All Stars 8 and do the reading challenge at the very end of the season with all 18 of them. Actually, please don't do that. I'm super excited to see Deja here. She's such a silly, quirky, goofy girl, and I'm really enjoying her energy so far. I wasn't really sure what to expect of Deja being here because I just wasn't expecting her to get a lot of story. I still don't think she's gonna get a lot of it, and I don't see her moving forward through the next week. But I'm excited to see at least one more week from her and see what she presents. She's refreshing. Irene is killing it so far, definitely exceeding my expectations of what I thought she was gonna do. I think she's exceeding her own expectations. Great first impression. And I love this rebrand. I'm glad that she's coming in and saying, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Phoenix saying that she's here from the Old Testament was insane, but I just love how happy she looks to be there. And that is making me happy. Olivia looked snatched in and out of drag, but I don't want to be hateful, but I don't think she needed to get work done. Her face was so nice, and I think the new lips and the cheeks and some of the pulling and yanking is a little bit like a jump scare, like, whoa, Barbie. I feel bad, she's very young, and I don't think she needed that much work done so early. And then Bosco, in this twist on the suit, it was like snatched Fred Flintstone. I was obsessed, and I still am obsessed. That's gonna probably go down as one of the best entrance looks ever. And I'm freaking rooting for her really, really hard. Like, Bosco is my girl right now. Ru says that only 3 queens are moving forward, so it's a lot like what I was kind of already expecting each week. The top 2 are gonna get 2 points, and then they lip sync for an extra point, and then there will be 4 extra points floating around in the week. That's a lot of math, and my little homosexual brain that doesn't like math and is not good at it was like, what? Oh. Okay. I'm not good at math. I'm good at eating butt, so I'm glad that someone else is doing the math. This is kind of what I've always wanted from an All-Stars season, and I know I've talked about it in other medias before, potentially my podcast, where I would really love this like Miss Hairspray pageant type situation where through the whole competition, they're gaining up points and wins and such, and then at a certain point in the competition, those points matter to help you not get eliminated. Like, you sacrifice a point to keep yourself out of the bottom or something. Like, I think that would be a really cool twist on the All-Stars franchise. And so I'm enjoying what this is potentially down the road. The maxi is to do this rock style song called Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. I'm gonna be so real. I didn't love the song. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna walk away and go, winner, winner, chicken dinner, or whatever the melody was. Like, I can't even remember it, and I watched it only a couple hours ago. I remember some of the girls' lines, and I remember some of the work that they did in it. I remember the vibe and the costuming, but that's like what sticks out. It's not like the musicality of I'm That Bitch. It's not like the musicality of even like Queens Down Under, which didn't have good lyric writing, but the hook of the song was nice. Or like Everybody Knows Bing Bang Bong. These are the songs that have good hooks and memorability to them. I just didn't think that the hook was that good. This group dynamic is interesting because Aja and Olivia know each other. They are family, so we're gonna see, I think, a lot of them trying to protect each other in the next episode and move forward. And then we have Bosco and Irene, who have known each other for like 7 years and started together. And so they're working together to try and get to the next segment. And then Deja and Phoenix are kind of like the side characters here. I don't really see a lot of hope for Deja or Phoenix to move on to the next round, especially considering these first 2 episodes, they only got 1 point each. And it would be kind of unsatisfying if the next episode doubled or tripled points. And that's maybe how they push someone through. Like, I'm really hoping and manifesting that they do not do a double or triple point next week, because that is gonna feel really bad. I want to specifically talk about Aja before I get into the challenge. She's got this comfortability about her that was definitely not present in All Stars 3. Like, in season 9, you could tell that she was just very confident, was ready to be there, but was not really like reading the room or paying attention to it. And then going into All Stars 3, it seemed a little self-conscious about what everyone was saying about her online. And so she was sort of like tempering her personality and trying to package that to meet TV. And then also just trying to give a good presentation overall. And so just everything got a little bit filtered, maybe in a way that didn't allow her to be super comfortable on TV. Where this season, she just has this light and effervescence that I'm loving. I really am rooting for Aja going forward because she's killing it so far. That moment between her and Irene was everything that I wanted. Aja, now's not a time to make a moment. Your makeup looks crazy. I kind of love Irene, and I'm so sad that we lost her very early in season 15 because I think she's great TV. I think we really lost out on what could have been an excellent character on Drag Race. I'm excited to see the moments that she creates the rest of the season, because if she doesn't go to round 2, I'd be shocked. And I would just love to see her and like Mistress in the same room together. because no way Mistress is not going to round 2. Like, there's just no way. Our runway theme for episode 1 is slits and tits. This was made with Bosco in mind. I can't be convinced otherwise. We have Aja coming out first. Great idea for slits and tits because, I mean, when I think about tits, I think like Elvira, I think the Cock Destroyers, and high-key, I think about Jinx. Not Monsoon, the Pokemon. Because she's just got that iconic sweetheart neckline, those big giant titties. It was just like imbued in my brain as a youngster about this character that was just boobalicious. So I think this was so fun, plus carrying through Roserade and Jinx. It's gonna lead to some great fan art down the road. I really liked it. I think my problem was, I think the purple was a little inconsistent on the body. I really love the crushed velvet of this look. I love the corsetry, the gloves with the nails on them. The hair is really cool and interesting. Very fun first impression for the first runway. I put it at number 4. Next up is Bosco. Bosco! This was so Vegas, which is perfect because she's a headliner at the Vegas show. This was so fashion. I loved the zipper that was going through the hair. That was probably my favorite detail. But what I love the most about it is that while she's walking, she's got this big blooming silhouette around her, and it makes me think about her talent show from episode 1 of season 14, where she did her burlesque striptease as a flower, and she had that kind of like blooming shape around her. So it is this fun, interesting callback to her first episode, whether that was intentional or not. And I love this progression of her being this like burlesque showgirl to now being her fully evolved. And I love that. It is so nice to see this transformation from who she used to be. And I just love her energy. Her saying, "My tits, very expensive." That sold it for me. She was my number 1. Next up, we have Deja. She described this as being Renaissance. I was kind of getting a little Rococo vibes from it, but I loved it. This is so cute. I love this iridescent green-yellow taffeta. It shines and it sparkles in a way that really complements her complexion. I love this deep, like Lucille Ball red. That is a great color for Deja. I hope that she's taking notes on these looks as she's coming out, because that hair looks stunning on her. I put it at number 3. It's not quite on theme for me with slits and tits, but I like it. Next out is Olivia Lux doing a Lil Kim inspiration. If you don't look at this and instantly recognize what it is, I don't know what to tell you. Everything about this is really well done. This lilac color is stunning on her. Her makeup looks great. The wig is really cute. I love the way that she's made it a little draggier and has added some more ruffles to it. That lining with the amethyst underneath it is rich. And then the stoning on the shoulders and on the kneecaps, it's really good. This is kind of what I wanted to see. Like, this and what Bosco did are what I wanted to see. This was my second favorite look of the night, so I put it at number 2. I only put Bosco higher because it was more of a interpretation of what's coming out of her own brain rather than like a recreation of someone else. And that's why it just like scooted it just a smidge higher. But I love a recreation dress. Next up, we have Irene in this big like bride parade outfit. I think it was really creative and fun. And I love fun. I like the wig, I like the ears, I like the feathers. It's all very big and I love an event. I think what is tough for me is there's this very clear color divide of this olive breastplate meeting this lime green sleeve. And I know that that's probably to hide some of the makeup on the arm so that it doesn't like smudge, and then add a little more texture and depth, and then also bleed into the gloves. I think I'm just having a problem with the color dissonance of these because even the gloves are an emerald color. There's just so many different color variants happening here that it's making my eyes go like boo 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 boo. You know? So I put it at number 5 for that reason. It's just a little jarring for me. But I love the pink, and I think it is a very fun look. And then last out is Phoenix, and I literally wrote in my notes AHS Rubberman as she was saying AHS. So I'm glad that her inspiration was coming through and what she was pulling from was coming through. I think the purple latex looks really nice on her. I think her body looks great. I love the inclusion of these zippers. And I like that she and Bosco were kind of thinking similarly. You know, this one is more of a reveal, like reveal the slit on the side, reveal the tits. I think it's very fun. The Teletubby spiral hair is a little strange to me. I'm not responding well to that. Overall, I think it's a good look. I think it's very strong. I think it's very safe if this were a larger group. But because there were other looks, I think that were stronger and had a better concept overall and had more thoughts baked into them, it does put it at number 6 for me. But that's not to say it's bad. It's a group this small, none of the looks are bad. Just everybody's on scales of who's better. So in the challenge, everything kind of got lost within the noise of the song. I loved Bosco's high note. It was a very 80s rock to me. I loved her line, "Papa, can you hear me? I have a confession." It's a callback to her nun look from season 14. It's a callback to her demon number from the finale of 14. Very strong presentation from her in this challenge. And good branding. This performance is really about branding yourself, coming back in and telling the audience what we already know about you and what we've loved about you from before. Deja looked a little more mimey to me than like rock and roll, but I did love her. Yeah! I think Irene had my favorite look. That cheetah print that was in that golden amethyst were everything to me. That is what I want. It was tacky 80s rock and roll, grunge glamour, and I was here for it. I think Olivia sounded the best and I liked her vibe, but I just think that her presence was a little muted in comparison. Why did Phoenix look like yassified rocker Dolly Parton? I think overall this was a pretty strong presentation, more from the contestants than the actual content of the episode. Our top 2 were Aja and Irene, and I was kind of surprised that Aja made it to the top 2 because they didn't seem to really be loving her look, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put Bosco up there because they gave her a lot of praise overall, and I think her connection with Ru is very present, and it's so obvious what Ru was connecting with the first time she was on. And I think Ru is re-remembering all that over again. I think honestly they were probably put in the top 2 together because they had that little tiff in the workroom and it's some manufactured drama that they're trying to then capitalize the story off of. Very India Derek tea, where they had this small little thing happen in the workroom, so they brought it to the stage. I think this could have been Bosco's week, but she had a great week next week and I feel like she's gonna have a great 3rd week. So she doesn't need to win every single time, I guess. The lip sync song was very fun. I love how kinetic Aja is while she lip syncs. This is the Aja that I was rooting for in season 9. I remember watching videos of her doing these post-verbal lip syncs where she was just moving to sounds and opening her mouth and bobbing her head. This is exactly what I love about Aja, the way that she performs. And I just love how wild she is with her lip syncing. This is now the 3rd time I think that Aja's opened a season. She lip sync first in All Stars 3. She was the, I think, guest to first lip sync in All Stars 8, right? Against Kahana. And then now this one. So Aja's opening up all the seasons. Irene was very sexy and fluid in the lip sync, and I liked her interpretation as well. Overall, Aja won it for me, and she was the winner in the eyes of the judges as well. So then the girls are told that they are each getting a consolation point, but they don't get to keep them. They have to give them to someone else. Let me tell you, I yelled. Girl, the TV of it all. It's so good. I'm gagged. This is what I want. It takes the social game of All Stars and flips it on its head. We've had the social game played a lot of different ways on All Stars, where they have the girls vote for each other to kick off the island. They have the girls decide who's gonna go to top 2, whatever. They do all these twists and such to try and make social games happen. This is the way to do a social game, by giving them points that determine who's going to the finale round. This is the way you do the social game. It's so brilliant, and it honestly was such a nice, refreshing twist. And as someone who doesn't read spoilers and just stays away from them, doesn't really care about spoilers, I truly was gagged. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Now, there's a lot of ways you could do this, and we'll talk about this in the next episode. But the thing to think about here, when you're thinking strategy, and this happened so long ago, it doesn't even matter for me postulating this now, they've done what they did. But the thing with this is, you wanna think, okay, so I've got this point. I can use this to bolster my relationship with someone else so that maybe they can scratch your back if you scratch theirs. Secondary thought, there's only 3 episodes to win points. So if you see it in the cards for 1 or 2 people and you know that they're going, the likeliness of you going becomes less and less if you're not standing out. Statistically, mathematically, it just doesn't make sense. So then you want to maybe bolster someone who is definitely going so that there's no shenanigans. Like at this point, I would look and think, okay, Irene did really good, Aja did really good. They're probably mathematically going to have more points than me at the end of this. So I can just secure that they're going to make sure that they do, because I don't want that person to go to the finale. Maybe you're thinking like, I don't particularly vibe with this person. I don't want them to go. So I'm gonna give my point to this other person. I personally would maybe use it to support someone else going if it's like, well, it's not gonna be me, so I'm gonna make sure that it's this one. That's what I would do personally. But keep an eye out for that second video. Let me know what your thoughts were about this episode in the comments below. Tell me what your favorite outfit was this week. Are you as jazzed as I am for this season? See y'all in a little bit for episode 2. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And this Tuesday, we're doing a short live stream here on YouTube to talk about this episode, about any videos that I've posted that you might have follow-up questions on. We're gonna chit chat for like 45 minutes, 6 p.m. PST. See y'all there if you want to tune in Tuesday. Thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all on the flip. All Stars 10, baby.